to Cherrybrook Technology High School.
Some 4 years ago, some people went out and communicated the fact that they were going to beg Borrower Steel, a high school for Cherrybrook. And at the time they told the power, and I didn't mean they told the powers that be, that they had to dig deep. And dig deep they did, some $17 million later. Our school is now all but finished and have been reliably informed. The buildings are still on time and very near completion. In fact,
I believe this school can become the centre of this community. It's ideally located. It's on the hill. You can't go anywhere in Cherrybrook these days without seeing it, I'm discovering. And I welcome and encourage your participation and your involvement in the school, your continuing participation and involvement, not just in the first flush of enthusiasm. I would like to disprove the theory that no matter how large the school is, there's a magic number of 12 that go to P&C meetings. It doesn't matter if it's a one-teacher school out in the Mulga, they get 12. They might only have 20 parents, but they get 12. And then you go to a school with 1,300 and they get 12 too. I want to disprove that, because I think this community can do it. As I introduce them, I'll tell you a little bit about, just a word or two about each one, and I'd ask you to just step forward so everyone recognise you. Starting off with Head Teacher English, Wayne Duncan. Wayne is an experienced English teacher who comes to us from Concord High School and is looking forward to being involved in all sorts of activities to do with welfare and to do with various issues like that. Thank you. Head Teacher Science, John Allison, comes from Lyle and he's going to drive down a fair bit next year and also perhaps stay with some in-laws not too far away from here to save him driving too far. I taught with John at Wyong High School, so I can attest to the calibre of this teacher and to his experiences. Head Teacher Technology and Applied Studies, Ian Solomons comes from Dunhevert. Ian comes to us with a wealth of experiences in agriculture and a whole incredible story about taking animals on travelling circus to Cherrybrook Preschool and the various other places that some of you kids might have actually seen in at some stage. So Ian will take the area of technology and applied studies, which includes industrial arts and things like that. Our teacher librarian, that some of you have met already, Nikki Kallenberger. Nikki has joined the staff at this point and is well and truly working very hard over at this site because we give plenty to do, don't we? And she's been starting to accession the books that we've bought, and she's out there now communicating with booksellers and things to build us that excellent library that we all want. The audio-visual man has left his camera for a couple of minutes, and Jim Taylor comes to us with a great deal of experience in the area of filmmaking and video work, which will be invaluable to the school and to the community. Home Science, Jan Bridges. Jan is also a very experienced teacher who has been a head teacher in her time, and we're very, very pleased to have her because the organisation of that incredible food technology unit is going to take someone with a lot of experience. In industrial arts, Terry Anthony. Very well still. Ruden Hill. Terry has some interesting stories to tell about the sorts of things he's been involved with. You were Neville who did the electronic That was Neville, right? I'll save that one up. All right, you can tell us interesting stories later. Electronics, Neville Warner. Now, there's no truth in the the reason Neville got the job. One of his kids did this project, which is a computerised billiard table. Snooker table. And when the ball, it senses the colours of the balls when they drop into the pockets and actually racks up the score. We have to have one for the start. First competition is between the staff and the community. But no proof that that's what got the job. Human society and its environment, Mary. Mary is also an extremely experienced teacher, and we welcome her because that particular key learning area has a number of teachers in it and will need a great deal of coordination, and it's exciting to have someone of Mary's experience to help us with that. Art, we were lucky we got 2 art teachers. There are many in other areas, but at this stage we still only have 1 music teacher. We still have to get the second one. So in art we have Carol Wilson, who I think hails from England originally, then via Queensland and now New South Wales, and has a tremendous experience in computer graphics and using computer technology to produce magnificent art images, and then also to do things with those, to react to them and to turn them into paintings and things like that. So we're looking forward to working with Carol, and she'll be next year specialising in photography as well in our new darkroom. And the second person is Peter Maynard, who no reason in the world that he got it when he said he played first grade rugby union for New South Wales ball. There's nothing to do with either. Not a bad skill to carry with you. We thought we could probably double up and use Peter's skill in the PE department, but we've got all art this year, so we don't have to use you that way. Music, as I said, Pam Merrigan comes from Wagga and can't be here. Languages, the same, who I think it's amazing, teaches Japanese and French and German. One of those I find extremely difficult to teach through them is amazing. And our second language teacher, Stephen Huey, who teaches Chinese, Japanese, and a smattering of maths as well, which is a great skill for us to have. We're very, very pleased to have Stephen with us. In PE, Health and PD, at this stage we have David Trust, and we have one more application out there for a female PE teacher. It's the one position in the department you can actually specify the sex of the person. And we said, okay, we've got male, now we need a female. So David's looking forward to the sport, and he's also looking forward to using that incredible facility that we have. In English and drama, we're very fortunate to have with us Carol Wimmer, who comes with a wealth of experience in drama and performances, I think. The first time I became aware of Carol's skills was at the opening of Education Week this year, and I know Tim was there. Carol was largely responsible for a lot of the things that happened there, and it was a most amazing performance, so we're very, very fortunate to have Carol with us. In careers, Russell Summerhays, some of you would have met him on the night that we ran for the Year 10s going into Year 11. Russell has been the Metropolitan North Careers Advisor, consultant for careers advising over the last 4 years. And it's great to have him because his second string is careers and business industry links. And as you all know, we need as much help and support as we can in working with business. So Russell will be very busy next year, as I keep telling you. Mathematics, we have another consultant who is joining us from Metropolitan North, and that's Lynette Hunter. And when I rang Glenn in Bombala and said you had another maths teacher on your staff and told him her name, there was a very excited maths head teacher in Bombala. So it speaks well for you, Lynette. 2 people that you have met already, many of you on the open day, our first 2 appointed staff members, Sue Hines, who's been appointed to the English department and has ESL as a string to her bow. So that will be a very handy thing to have. And the second one, Liz Mitchell, who teaches geography and history. And we look forward to involving them much more than they've been able to at this stage. We have an interview tomorrow night for our last head teacher position, and that's for the position of technology and information, and the PE one closes on the 13th to the 12th. We probably need about another 5 or 6 at the most teachers to gather before the school year opens, but we're working out just what we need now that we know the strengths and the abilities of this quite amazing stuff that we've amassed together.
This space over here, what one everyone's standing in front of, that's going to be the restaurant.
Out into the corridor sounds good.
You got the blackboard in the school.
Well, I don't know whether that's a day. Let's put that down.
I think it's the only blackboard.
Is it a heartbreaking area?
But there is, I wrote another approved studies for that, or another endorsed study as it is now. All the electronics and
Yeah, strangely though, you do need to get into that little room there, Tom. I don't know whether that's an oversight or whether that's by intent. That's the horticulture facility down there, which we should wander down and have a look at. A little bit of grass, but the rest of it I'll just seed. Hopefully it'll grow. And the trees over on the far side have been moved twice, where they are. Yeah, they do. They were out on the side, and they were moved over onto the side. It's only been there about 2 weeks, and they started to. So the so-called essential area for the school, something over here, yes, indeed. Yeah, sure. And there's a primary school on the far side over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, staff and students, it gives me great pleasure to call this first Cherrybrook Assembly to order and to welcome you all to the school. I suppose I can claim to be the first person to talk at the first assembly at the first purpose-built technology high school in New South Wales. But for everybody here, it's a very significant day.
Students, parents and staff, at last we have a school.
I'm there reading school started up fresh as this one is. Certainly I was in year 7 of the brand new school. And there'll be something that probably doesn't seem right now, but will be in the future. There'll be a time when you can look back and say, yes, you were the first to go through that school in year 7. Many of you will grow up in this area, probably even live here. And this school will obviously be here over the balance of your life. And to be the very first people through a school, I think is a unique experience, something for you to do. So you can get over the butterflies and all those feelings of apprehension about being in a brand new school. I think the most important thing to do today is to really enjoy the day. Because there might be another one in your lifetime. It's a one-time for all the people at school. Mr. Warren would like to have a word to you, and then I'll organise with you about what's happening over the rest of the day. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I'd like to welcome you all.
Welcome to our first full assembly. 2 weeks ago, at this time, I was speaking to Year 11 and Year 8. Year 7 hadn't even started. And it's pretty amazing to all of us at this stage to realise just how much has happened in the last 2 weeks. I remember saying the buildings weren't quite finished. Well, they're still not quite finished, but they're a lot closer to completion than they were then. Once those covered areas are complete, then the major building projects are finished, and then there are minor things, things that we want to adjust or alter or vary or change. Furniture still needs some work on it in order to make sure we've got the right furniture in the right rooms. That depends on supply and demand. There are now 300 or 400 books in the library that are ready for use. We've got lots more in the back, but physically we can only accession so many a day. 2 people working flat out can only do so many books. But within the next couple of weeks, I think you'll find that access to the library and to the library books will be something that'll be commonplace and not something you're just looking forward to. In the last 2 weeks, it's not only you people who have come together. I want you to think about the fact that the teachers were all new to one another, the clerical assistants were all new to one another, the cleaners were all new to one another, the canteen people and the parents that are helping in the canteen were largely new to one another as well. So there have been a lot of people who have done a lot of adjusting, a lot of learning about one another, a lot of learning to share and to get on together. And it really is time now that we start to involve the school, the students in that process. This school will have a school council. The elections for that school council will be happening in the middle of March. Nominations for people to be elected are going to close on the 2nd of March. And your parents and the staff decided very early on that our school council would have 2 student representatives on it. It would not be a school that was run by adults all the time. There would be a student voice. But we weren't prepared to decide how those people would be elected. It was important that you decide who will represent you. So in the next week or so, Mr. Taylor and some other teachers will be talking to you about perhaps a student representative council. Other teachers will be talking to Year 11s about a Year 11 forum to talk about some of the issues and concerns that Year 11 have. Lockers, their student study, all of those sorts of things need to be discussed. We've now got the time to do that.
Well, ask anyone in business these days, they'll tell you we should be concentrating on new technology in our education system. Knowledge of computers is a must these days, but we need to do more than that if we're to become the clever country that Barry Jones wants us to be. Step towards that this morning, or today rather, with the opening of the new technology high school at Cherrybrook in Sydney. To tell us about that, the cluster director for that area for the education department, Deanna Herman. Good morning, Deanna.
Good morning.
A cluster director is a bit of a strange title, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's an unusual title, but we run under many names, but certainly it is a director of education, yes.
All right, we'll just call you Deanna.
Well, what does it mean?
What does what mean?
Cluster director.
Well, it means we direct or are responsible for the management of a group of schools in districts throughout New South Wales.
Right.
It's the plural of schools. You have a group of schools, you've got a cluster.
Oh, I see.
It's like a gaggle of geese.
I thought it was a grape grower.
Deanna, this new technology high school is being opened today. It's quite high-tech, isn't it?
It is very high-tech, and we are indeed very fortunate to have the support of the Department of School Education and a number of sponsors and partners, business partners, in this venture, and therefore we are indeed very, very fortunate to have some high-tech equipment that I would believe is at the cutting edge, not only in education but certainly in industry as well.
Well, how are the kids going to be taught to use this? What sort of elements are there in their curriculum?
Well, they have a normal curriculum, but what we are trying to do is, say in our technology and applied studies area where we have engineering, science and robotics, just to give you two examples, we have a commercial kitchen on site, and though all areas of the curriculum are being supported with the use of technology. Not only, when we talk technology, we're not just talking computers.
Robotics is a new one for kids, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is.
What do you hope to teach them with that?
Well, if you think about having to computerize a robotic arm in order to do certain activities, the students are learning the principles of engineering in terms of having to program a computer for certain actions. So right from the fundament, they're working through Lego Dacta material in the first instance, and Aztec, for example, have supplied a tremendous robotic arm and computerized lathe for the students, and on which they can then take the early principles of the approach and apply it into a more sophisticated context.
With all this machinery around, Deanna, is there a danger of losing the human side, like the good old reading, writing and arithmetic stuff?
Certainly not. In fact, we feel we can improve the reading and writing and the good old stuff by allowing children access to skills and knowledge through newer technologies. I know that some people do have fears, but it is part of our charter in this school to explore the delivery of content material in all subject areas to see how far we can take our children into the 21st century.
Well, it sounds fascinating, Deanna. Thanks for telling us about it.
No trouble. Thank you very much.
Deanna Herman, the cluster director for that area, and talking about the new Cherrybrook. It does
sound silly.
A cluster. I tell you what.
Cluster director.
NASA should go to that new technology high school if they're teaching robotics. They've got a lot to learn about robot arms.
What did that arm cost? $9 million.
$9 million, and it was useless.
And they used their hands in the end. Anyway, it's the new Cherrybrook School opening at 12:30, being opened by the Premier. He still is, Nick Reiner, at 12:30 today, where the kids learn about the way of the future, including, of course, how to blame the computer when things go wrong.
Everyone here must now understand my pride and my admiration for the teachers and students of Cherrybrook Technology High School. In the past 14 weeks, they've worked so hard together to produce the spectacular and polished performance and presentations you see, both here and throughout the school today. 14 weeks ago, I stood on that stage, sans curtains, sans most of the things that are in this hall at the moment, and played a computer-aided design video that the architects and the planners had done to show what they imagined the school would look like. Many of you will have seen that video, and it's in fact been playing in the CAD room today. I said then that the missing element was the human element, and it was up to us to create the kind of school we all wanted. The Department of School Education, the government, school architects, the Public Works Department, and all the contractors had provided us with a wonderful resource, and now it was up to us.
My very best wishes for the school. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to declare Cherrybrook Technology High School officially open.
Not a stick of chalk in sight. This is Cherrybrook Technology High School and the shape of education in the next century. Students here aren't set assignments, they're given design briefs.
It's about time education started to catch up with the practices that are commonplace in our society and prepare our students for that world of work that's out there. That is a very different world. It's not about chalk and talk, it's not about rote learning anymore.
The $17 million school offers students a glimpse of what lies ahead in the workforce, incorporating the latest technology in every subject. Even the sewing machines are computer-aided. Cherrybrook High is so far ahead of other state schools, little wonder it's creating unprecedented demand. Families are actually moving to the area so their children can come here. A baby born this week has already been enrolled. And it's not just parents and teachers singing the school's praises.
We're just like a big family here. It's unbelievable. Like everyone, they want to come to school. It's like before, oh, I don't want to go to school, but every day you're looking forward to coming to school, learning different things and using the different equipment that they've got here.
Nick Greiner performed the official opening with the help of a student-programmed robot arm. The school is undoubtedly a showpiece for the government, but education authorities deny money is being pumped into Cherrybrook at the expense of other schools.
Many of the examples of expensive and innovative technology here are in fact elements that have been donated.
The school now caters for years 8, 9 and 11, but will be expanded to all grades next year. Lincoln Howes, 10 Eyewitness News.
Brook, Premier Nick Greiner unveiled a new generation of state schools, a technology high school where the 21st century has already arrived. We sent Sydney Extra's Darren McDonald to check it out.
From the outside, it looks like any other school, but at Cherrybrook, the students communicate in a different language.
Microchip analysis, hydroponics, design technology, computer-aided drawing, enrichment, acceleration, remediation, and
all that means?
And all that means is technology in today's world.
Cherrybrook Technology High School leads the field in nurturing young minds in a modern world. Here, along with sewing and English, lessons include robotics and advanced computer design.
We use the CAD laboratory on the computers, computer-aided design. That's good. We do that in design technology.
What's that in English?
Computer-aided design, it's program which all the big manufacturers and stuff use to design buildings and stuff.
That stuff is high-tech enrichment.
You're going to redraw the Tower of Pisa.
If this is the school of the future, it seems teenagers will soon be designing entire residential estates, and it's all done with the flick of a wrist. For the artistically minded, there's good old music, where pencils have been replaced with keyboards and monitors. The computer, with the right commands, can do everything. Choose the instrument, the key, and the tempo.
Next time. Go.
IBM, Lego, and Lotus Developments are just some of the companies whose donations have helped create this hothouse of high-tech nourishment. Speaking of which, horticulture is also on the curriculum, in the greenhouse and in the pot. Cherrybrook even has its own farm, run entirely by students. No elbow grease here, technology's the answer. And if that's not all, there's robotics, where even good old Lego has taken on high-tech proportions.
With that car, when it hits the wall, it sets off one of the lines in the program which makes it turn in a certain direction.
Cherrybrook Technology High School is an intriguing experiment, a $1 million window into the future of education. Let's hope our advances in technology can keep up with our children. Darren McDonald, Sydney Extra.
Egg cells inside a species. The advantage of sexual reproduction is? Gamete.
Just point to Sandy. Sandy can just point to it.
There's Penny.
Brad Bushell and Wade Randall. Ryan, Josh, Nathan, Chris, Stuart, Jeff. Edward, Colin, Clayton, and JD. Righto, the rest of you guys are still waiting for me. Okay. Ryan Saccarini first. Righto, you're up. Number one. We're starting on number one.
400 metres event. We've got a very clear leader here. Two very closely positioned for second and third. Bit of a challenge on there. They're starting to close on the leading runner. Very, very close as they come around here past the Cherrybrook card table. And we've got very, very close places here.
Very close race indeed.
Not so much for others, but we're very grateful that business people and people associated with our school could join the staff here at Cherrybrook for this first business breakfast in Education Week.
In your design brief, have a look at the level.
Through this fantastic event.
Is it on? Is it on?
We don't care what you think of us, and yeah, and we're leaving, and we've got no more classes ever, and you've all got lots.
Okay, and now follow for Mr. Krutz to address the assembly.
Just very quickly, just a couple of things. I don't want to take up much of your time. Good week in sport this week against Taramara. Unfortunately, none of the teams won, which means none of the teams get into the semis, but hey, what else is new? The important thing that is 9 times out of 10, we did our best. And I'd like to have a round of applause for Karina James this week. She did not get injured. And what a classic at the Zone Carnival. Out of 9 schools there, we came 10th. Some great performances from Susie DeGaris, first in the long jump, first in the high jump, first in the triple jump, first in the 100, first in the 200, 400, 800, 1500, first in the 4x100 relay, which she did on her own, first in the hurdles, first in the 400-kilometre marathon, and first in the pilot eating competition. She is our age champion. And just an announcement about students out of uniform. Any student found not wearing the correct sports uniform, be warned they will... Found not wearing the correct uniform, you will be sent home in a taxi. Any girls wearing bike pants, be warned they will be confiscated on the spot. Thank you very much. You're a bunch of idiots.
Thank you, Mr. Krutz.
Proper guns. 1, 2, 3. Back to you. Thanks, Jake. Roger.
Now we'll have an announcement from Bernard Farkew from Rotary.
I'm Bernard Farquhar from Rotary. Good morning, principal, teachers, students, friends. Last year, Rotary raised over $8.13. We had an overwhelming response from the students of from the good students of Cherrybrook Technical High School, who raised in excess of 47 cents. And that was done by Susie DeGaris. Each year, Rotary assists the needy and homeless people in aid to give them shelter, food and clothing on their backs. We can't do it alone though. It's a big job and we need the helping hands of students like you. You can make a difference. You can make a difference by selling dodgy stale mints to raise money for us and the needy. Any students interested in helping this worthy cause, see me at the end of the...
Mr. Woodhouse, take some business.
All right, come on. Congratulations to Vincent Chong. He had the correct answer to this week's maths question. Please see me at the back of the hall. Now, I know this week's question will be a bit of a challenge for you all, but you don't lose marks for trying. This is it. What will it take for me to smile?
Mr. Ancliffe would now like to have a comment.
I'd just like to see you 11 and 12 ask you some news about a European state.
Now Miss Wentman would now like to say a few words. She has just returned from a long service leave.
It's good to be back and see you all smiling. I know you're all probably wondering how my holiday was, but I can't stop to chat. I've got a board meeting with some department and a plane to catch, Toodaloo.
message. Now Mr. Wilson would wrap up the assembly.
Ask me if I'm impressed. I'll say no. Because it seems every single time I get up here, I have to say something negative. So why break the tradition? It has come to my attention that the word data keeps appearing on toilet seats in the girls' lavatories. I'm sure there is a handful of students, and not just one. So if any students know anything at all about this incident, come and see me in my office. The matter will be treated strictly confidential. Whilst on the subject of bathroom vandalism, if anyone knows the whereabouts of the boys' trough on D block, give yourself up. I know who you are. You know who you are. I know who I am. We know who each other are. By the way, the senior study has been permanently closed for the 8th time. You know why. Which brings me to another fiasco. At recess, whilst I was patrolling the playground in full detective mode, I couldn't help but notice the ground an abundance of apple cores, banana peels, chocos, pineapples, coconuts, giant pumpkins, and all other metal fruit. Now I'll get straight to the point. Throwing projectiles is not funny, not clever, not sexy, ravishing, or not smart. It can be downright dangerous. Let me make it very clear. I will not hesitate to call the police if I see anyone throwing any fruit. I'll personally see that you are charged with manslaughter. Now you might think to yourself, it's all a bit of a joke. I'm a bit of a joke. But it's my job to stamp out evil. That is why I have to have a grey plastic jacket and black wraparound detective sunglasses. I'm sorry to end this assembly on a bit of a downside, but it seems only to be a few people that spoil it for everybody. Thank you. It's now period 4, but we'll replace it with period 1 and move periods back 1 from Thursday period 8.
And this your last day at school. This assembly that we're having, however corny it may sound, will be remembered by you for the rest of your lives, because it's a very special assembly that we are holding in your honour, to farewell you out into the real world, and for you to farewell your 12-year school career. Who knows where you'll all be this time next year, but your experience here for the past 2 years at Cherrybrook Technology High School will be with you in mind and in heart. Today the whole school is extremely proud of you as you become the first graduating Year 12 of 1993.
That's the idea. Get it out. Try it. 3 putt.
A round of applause for Strickland House, thanks.
Go away!
So what time did you want to leave? So I was thinking, if it fits, I mean if it doesn't, that's alright, I can do 3.
Suddenly the way seems clearer. Suddenly my mind is free. Everything is in its place. Now I found you.
Stop working for! Stop insulting me! Stop winning heads! This shout is so fast. Stop!
and make a tuck of me. It's the fault of your God, never me.
Good morning and welcome to the parents, staff and students, and a special welcome to the new Year 7s for today is their first day of many years in high school. Before we start, I'd also like to mention a quick congratulations to last year's Year 12. I'm sure you've all heard about the wonderful HSC results. 27 in the top 5,000, which is the best so far for this school, and we're only still a young school. We'll be celebrating our 5th anniversary this year.
Well, he's in the right place, You got it on my car.
I drop it now.
Okay, drop it and jump over it.
For the 16-year-old boys,
Alright, what do you guys think of the swimming carnival? Jeremy, boring.
And they're off.
But in normal days, when they're given an exam, for example, to type up, they're going to be interrupted every 5 minutes with phone calls, with teachers, with kids coming for a band day and stuff like that. So to give them some help, just a few general guidelines about the AP1 exams and really for any other exams.
Hi everyone, we've been in France for 2 days and everyone's talking about what the good things are in France.
Year 11, I hope.
got mixed feelings, I must say, about going, and it is, for me anyway, it was quite a sad occasion.